Sometimes one step aside changes everything. Today, you'll find 10 stories about forbidden feelings, secret romances, and irreversible consequences. If you love intense relationship dramas, be sure to subscribe and like. Let's get started. Nosotras, 2025. This film tells a love story, not from the beginning, but from the end. We see a couple who were once happy, but now there's only coldness and uncertainty between them. Gradually, the plot reveals how they came to this. The wife begins to feel invisible, unwanted. Her attempts to save the relationship fail, and she seeks solace outside of marriage. At first, this seems like a temporary solution, a way to fill the void. But a new relationship gives her what she's been missing for so long: attention, passion, a sense of life. The film shows how relationships slowly deteriorate when people stop listening to each other, and how one step can completely destroy what once seemed eternal. Eldarnir, 2025. Against the backdrop of the harsh northern landscape, the story of a woman living in a marriage where emotions have long since disappeared unfolds. Every day is a repetition of the previous one, and a feeling of emptiness grows within her. But everything changes when she meets a man who seems to awaken long-forgotten feelings within her. Their connection begins quietly, almost imperceptibly. Casual conversations, glances, touches, everything seems harmless, but gradually it develops into something more. The heroine realizes she's gone too far, but she can't stop. Her internal conflict grows stronger. Stay in a safe but empty life, or risk everything for true emotion. And the further she goes, the more obvious it becomes. There is no turning back. Don't Call Me Mama, 2025. The heroine is a strong, independent woman who is used to being in control. She has a family, status, and stability. But behind this facade lies the weariness of the role she plays every day. When a younger man appears in her life, she feels alive for the first time in a long time. The relationship develops rapidly. It's no longer just flirtation. It's an addiction she can't shake. She understands that she's risking everything: her family, her reputation, her future. But her emotions prove stronger than her mind. With each new step, the situation becomes more dangerous, and at some point, she realizes the consequences will be far more serious than she could have imagined. The Red Thread, 2025. Fate sometimes gives second chances, but not always in time. The heroine meets a man who was once important to her. Their paths diverged, but the feelings, as it turns out, never disappeared. The problem is that she now has a family. At first, they try to keep their distance, convincing themselves that these are just memories, but the past is too powerful to ignore. Their connection rekindles, and the heroine faces a choice that cannot be made without loss. The film shows the danger of revisiting something that never truly ended. Connemara, 2025. A perfect life can be the biggest illusion. From the outside, the heroine has it all: a successful husband, stability, comfort. But inside, she feels like she's not living her own life. When she meets a man who sees the real her, everything begins to change. For the first time in a long time, she feels freedom. But with it comes the fear of losing everything she has. Her double life becomes increasingly complicated. The lies accumulate, the tension mounts. And at some point, she must make a choice, one that can no longer be undone. Aurora, 2025. This is the story of a woman who decides to start over. Tired of routine and predictability, she seeks new emotions and finds them in a forbidden relationship. At first, it seems liberating. She feels strong, independent, and alive. But gradually, this relationship begins to change her. She becomes more impulsive, loses control of the situation, and her life begins to spin out of balance. The film shows how easy it is to lose yourself in an attempt to escape your own reality. Dreams, 2025. Sometimes dreams prove more dangerous than reality. The heroine lives in a world where she lacks vivid emotions. She often retreats into her fantasies, imagining a different life. And one day, her dream becomes reality. She meets a man who embodies everything she's ever dreamed of. But reality proves more complex than fantasy. Their relationship becomes increasingly strained, and the heroine begins to lose the distinction between what's right and what she wants. This is a story about how desires can destroy real life.
También esto pasará. 2025. After a profound loss, the heroine finds herself in a state where emotions overwhelm reason. She tries to cope with the pain, but instead immerses herself in a chaotic life. New acquaintances, casual relationships, all this becomes a way to escape reality. But at some point, she crosses a line. Her actions begin to destroy not only her life, but also her relationships with others. The film shows how pain and loneliness can lead to decisions that are impossible to forget.
Two Women, 2025. Two women with different destinies find themselves connected by a common story. One of them is in a marriage that has long since ceased to bring happiness. When a man appears in her life who gives her what she lacks, she decides to cheat. But things turn out to be much more complicated. Her choice affects not only her, but also the other woman, whose life also begins to fall apart. This is a story about consequences that affect far more people than you might think.
Verhängnisvolle Leidenschaft, Sylt, 2025. Eine Story unfolgt in Indige des luxuriösen Inselraums, wo Passion zu einer Falle wird. Die Heldin lebt in einem beautiful but cold reality. Ihre Ehe ist mehr eine Gewohnheit als Liebe. Wenn sie eine Sekretärin als Herr beginnt, alles scheint exciting und neu. But gradually the situation spirals out of control. Lies bekommen part of ihrer life und die tension mounts with each passing day.
Cheating always carries a risk and almost always has consequences. These films show how one decision can change a life forever. Tell us in the comments which film you remember most. And don't forget to subscribe. There are more powerful and intense collections to come.